Let's talk about Katy Perry. Have y'all heard the new album yet, 143? Well, I told you I was going to listen to it. And I'm going to give you my overall thoughts. I wrote them down. I wrote them on social media. I wrote it on Facebook. I did like my overall thoughts. But I was like, when I gathered all the opinions regarding a people's, critique of the album, I was like, let me just add mine up in there. So that way y'all can know my overall assessment. So I listened to the record. And a lot of critics did too. And they said that this is like Katy's worst album. I know some DJ friends of mine who like the record and have they faves, and I'm like, okay, if y'all like it, I love it. There'd be stuff I want to say, but I'm like, I guess there's no requirement for taste. So Katy Perry's highly anticipated comeback album 143 has finally arrived. I'm just being sarcastic, by the way, about the highly anticipated comeback part. And as a surprise to absolutely no one except for delusional Katy Cats, the album doesn't have a single redeeming song. So 143, which references the expression I love you, but is also what Katy considers to be her symbolic angel number, child please, is her first album in 4 years following Smile in 2020. One damning review from a top entertainment outlet declared that Perry struggles to reclaim past glory on the flat 143. Much of the criticism, even before the album was released, was down to Perry's decision to work with her old music producer, Dr. Luke, who settled his long-standing harassment lawsuit with Kesha last year, which he vehemently denied. But even with the hitmaker on board, he produces 10 out of the 11 songs. The reaction so far has been less than favorable. And that's funny. She literally had him on all the songs except one of the damn tracks. That is insane to me. And she's wondering why this album is flopping. And we're going to get to the sales in a second. Now, critic Stephen J. Horowitz writes for Variety. Oh, the Variety one, y'all need to read that one. Look that one up. I cackled reading that review. They went in on her. But this is just a taste. The album is flat, coasting on cascades of lyrical cliches and musical ideas that really crest. Across many of his 11 songs, Perry sounds disaffected and removed, as if she just punched in between American Idol tapings. That's just a smidge of what he said, but he read her down to the floor. Little of the clever wit and emboldened some of her biggest hits peeks out on the album, a disappointing slide away from the savvy she once so effortlessly exuded. Now, this is the ultimate read. I was like, now why they had to get this straight? I like some of their music. Now, Horowitz said that some of the songs sound mechanical and that the song Crush, which I've heard some people say is like a highlight on the record. And don't get me wrong, sonically, there are moments of that song that do sound cute, but it needs more. And I feel like what's really affecting a lot of these songs from really getting to those peaks and valleys, we need to put an end to these 2.5 minute damn pop songs. We need to stop it. First of all, they allow you to put long form song or video content on TikTok. Why is everything still 2.5 minutes? We need to move beyond that. Because I post things up there that's longer than 10 minutes or 10 minutes and longer, I should say, on TikTok. So if they allow that, why are songs still 2.5 minutes? Our minds can expand beyond that. So he basically said that the song Crush sounds like a B-side by the Venga Boys. How y'all going to throw straight at the Venga Boys? First of all, I like some of their stuff, especially for the debut album. That is here's the thing. The Venga Boys is cheesy, but that's some good guilty pleasure dance music from the 90s. And those songs was fun. Look, this Flag still using that song, The Venga Bus is Running, and everybody's jumping. New York and San Francisco from this old disco, wherever the hell the rest of that lyric goes. I do love that song. The Venga Bus is coming, and everybody jumping. New York and everything they back now. He adds, like with their past few albums, lyricism of 143 is rife with cliches as though it was generated through AI. You'll be surprised if they use AI. A lot of people been using AI to write scripts and things of that nature. But girl, if you don't have the vernacular to come up with a good damn song, just do a writer's camp. Now, meanwhile, The Guardian gave it 2 out of 5 stars, saying the album isn't the calamity expected, but it isn't good either. Critics Alexis Petridis writes, It feels slightly out of time, a common or garden mediocre pop album with the misfortune to be scheduled in the wake of Charlie XCX's Brat, Chappell Roan's The Rise and Fall of the Midwest Princess, and Sabrina Carpenter's Short and Sweet, a trio of messily inventive and hugely successful albums that collectively suggest a certain raising of the pop bar has taken place. Well, I will say this, 2 out of the 3 albums I actually like. I do not like Sabrina Carpenter's album. That was a one and done for me. I'm like, girl, this is a bunch of filler on here. But Charlie XCX's Brat, oh my God, girl, I cannot tell y'all, I cannot wait for that sweat tour tomorrow. The sweat tour is coming to New York, finally. It's tomorrow, her Shy Girl, and Troye Sivan. Now, Chappell Roan's The Rise and Fall of the Midwest Princess, I cannot tell you. I have been listening, even though Chappell Roan, you've been getting on my root canal nerve with this bitching and moaning about the fame and all that other mess. I have been loving this album. Like, I've been listening to, I don't know what it is. Like, all of a sudden, I've just been popping it on. How am I working out to Chappell Roan in the gym? I love those songs. And yeah, they got those good uppity synth pop tracks that she worked on with Dan, the same producer that works with Olivia Rodrigo. But then there's moments I'm like, let me just put Chappell Roan on the shuffle. Because, this new album, I was like, yes, I've been looking for it. There's a lot of really good songs in there. And I've been working out to it. And so, yeah, but I already told y'all how I feel about Sabrina Carpenter. She could pay it with that damn album. What would once have sufficed, at least commercially now won't. That is, author and her team didn't notice, seemed far more intrinsic to 143's downfall than questionable choices of collaborator, misfiring videos, or indeed damage to the sand dunes of Sespalmador. The last line referencing Perry being under investigation for possible environmental damage to Spanish dunes, where she filmed music video Lifetimes. Well, take her for her coins. Or some of that money she just did at Rock in Rio, where it looked like she just recycled her VMA's performance for some parts. Mark Kennedy for AP said the album was uninspired and forgettable. Kennedy calls out the final track Wonder as the worst song of the album, writing it's a cynical attempt to have moms in the audience wave their hands in unison as balloons float, even as it decries cynicism. Oh, I could definitely see that because that feels very much like what will happen at a concert. Despite her daughter Daisy Dove making an appearance on the track, Kennedy adds, but by this point, she's lost our trust with the 10 previous songs, a sonic slog. 143 has no soul or emotion. It's just a number. The Independent also gave it 2 stars and said it was painfully dated and glaringly out of touch. Suggested that Perry is trying to chase hits on the album. The review said most songs here have an underlying hesitance, too preoccupied by their commercial aspirations to have any real fun. A 5 out of 10 review from the music publication Clash said the world has moved on, saying, on 143, however, there's a feeling that the world has moved on, with Chappell Roan's tour sparking Beatlemania-esque scenes of adoration and Sabrina Carpenter maintaining a stranglehold on the charts. You struggle to see where this playful yet unsatisfying record fits into pop's firmament. Despite its critical mauling, Perry has found some favorable reviews from fans on Twitter. Well, y'all can't believe what y'all read over there, Chad. But let's entertain it, because we like to entertain the good with the bad, or the bad with the good. She's also been supported throughout the dismal rollout by her husband Orlando Bloom, well, he's not her husband, they're still engaged, who cheered her on during the 2024 MTV VMAs last week. He's also an actor, so what do you expect him to do? So now, here's the thing. It's funny how I said now there were some positive ones, but I didn't even put none up because I didn't care enough too. But just know there are some people out there that like it. Now I do want to give y'all my overall review of what I pretty much said, and then we can move on. Oh, that's so cute. And look, at least she holds her damn moon man. So unlike some of these other people like Tyler, can you hold my moon man? I have no strength. How would that dumbass bitch be talking? I don't like her. But anyway, so pretty much I said if soulless, forgettable trash were an album, it would be 143. While I will say she did put out some bops during the early 2000s that still eat, for the first two albums. She has completely lost touch with what's happening in music, and sonically as well as lyrically, this record is about as deep as a pond. Now, tuning out the noise of what she considers haters was a bad move on her part, as well as thinking by collaborating with Dr. Luke would salvage what's left of her career. Yes, he and Kesha have settled their differences in court, but with all the discourse surrounding him, working with him again was a choice that she will have to live with when 143 era flops. The three singles she released was an obvious attempt at desperation for pop domination, and don't get me started on that joke award show known as the VMAs. Now, as far as her performance on the songs, it doesn't even feel like she's engaged as her past songs, such as I Kiss a Girl, Firework, Teenage Dream, and Roar. She was clearly phoning it in between Orlando Bloom, Baloney War sessions, and her judging gig over at American Idol. And I spelled Idol I-Dull, but that show is dull. I don't know why the hell they brought it back. Now, like Jennifer Lopez, I think the best bet for her is to book another residency to sell this record because this album will come and go faster than you can say smile. And since I mentioned Jennifer, this is me now. Now, I will say this, because there were some other albums that came out, and everybody's out here windmilling hard for Katy Perry, like she the only one that dropped a record. But there were some other people that dropped records. If y'all want to hear some really good music, although I am upset with you, girl, that your album is short. Nelly Furtado dropped her new album called Seven, which is her seventh studio album. It's short too. She has like, I believe, 14 tracks and it clocks in under a half an hour. Y'all need to stop that. I understand she's trying to feed the algorithm beast and all this other mess, but girl, you're a veteran. You're a legend. You're a legacy act at this point. You don't need to be trying to play into this whole TikTok space. These kids know how to edit. If they want to make they want to dance to your songs or whatever, they can shorten it. So I say Nelly Furtado's Seven, Jamie XX's In Waves, and Purple Disco Machine dropped Paradise. Now that is an album that I was like, I've been listening to on repeat. There's so many great dance tracks on there. It's got a lot of like 70s disco. It's got some glam rock on there. It's got all these different type of genres. And Purple Disco Machine, he is a German producer. I'm thinking like he should have worked with him. First of all, I was listening to this album. I'm like, damn, Kylie Minogue should have worked with him on Tension 2. And don't get me wrong, I am looking forward to listening to her new album. But that's another one that I feel like she need to work with on her next record. Or if Madonna wants to actually do a good damn dance record, she need to work with him too. So yeah, those are my overall thoughts on Miss Perry. And now, last but certainly not least, let's get into the chart situation. So according to that Grape Juice, they said that 143 is on pace to miss the top 10 and debut on her lowest first week sales to date. Because you have other people that's running around and talking about how her new album, it's doing well on global Spotify. Okay, good for her. But in the USA, we don't care about her anymore, apparently. And it's great to want to be successful around the world, and you can be a global star, and she is global. The Latinos live for her. She just did Rock in Rio in 8. The people are living for what she's doing over there. But it seems like in America, like when they said that the world has moved on, I think for the most part, America has moved on. She doesn't have her finger on the pulse. I don't care how many times you want to change the trend. The people have spoken, and you just ain't giving the girls what we've given or what we need. So it says that predicted first week sales will be 37,000 to 42,000 units moved. Predicted Billboard 200 debut, she might come in between number 10 to number 15 on the charts. So it said, according to the industry analysis at HDD, Perry's 7th, not 70th, child. Can you imagine putting out 70 records? You had to be making music when you were 2. Hits daily double, in case for y'all did not know what HDD stands for. Her 7th studio album will open its first week total sales to up to 42,000 units by the end of its inaugural sales tracking period. If the prediction above rings true, it will mark the lowest opening for any of the pop diva's major label offerings, snatching the personal record from 2020's Smile, which premiered and peaked at number 5 with sales of 50,000. What's more, the projected modest commercial performance of 143 could see it become the first major label effort to miss the Billboard 200's top 10 upon arrival, as each of its predecessors, One of the Boys, which came in at number 9, Teenage Dream came in at number 1, Prism came in at number 1, Witness came in at number 1, and Smile came in at number 5. So it also said that said to be mounting a killer promotion week in the days ahead. That it may, with her being on TV, print, radio, and the internet, it'll probably help up the sales. But it seems like to me that the record is not doing well. It's going to be a flop. Who said Ling Ling really enjoyed the album? Who they talk about? Oh, well, let's not be racist, child. So I said this to say because I wanted to put that out there. I want to give y'all the sale numbers. This is what's predicted to happen in next week. That she's about to miss the top 10. She may just hit the top 10 or may come in between, the top 15 in that range. So she may come in 11, 12, 13, 14, or 15. That's still bad, especially in this day and age. But girl, look, you made your bed, now you got to lie in it. You basically, I feel like you just want to put a record together because you wanted to, it was an ego thing. You wanted to see where you fit in the whole pop music space. And the people seem to have moved on. It was like, we'd be here for you if you was willing to give us something with a little substance. But it just seems like you have not matured and grown since the last time you put out a record. You pretty much trying to give us what was working back in when you first came out. During the Teenage Dream era, that was cute or whatever, but we moved on from that. This music has changed. Dance music has changed. Pop music has changed. I feel like in this day and age, when we talk about Sabrina Carpenter and Chappell Roan and we talk about Charlie XCX, people want nuance. People want authenticity, and we don't get authenticity from her. Like we said, like the album is about as deep as her personality is too. Katy Perry is a blank canvas. She is clearly a producer's artist. She's not somebody who can come up with stuff. I believe she gets in the studio, they throw around ideas. Oh, that's cute. I'll work with that. Yeah, let's work with that. She sits up in there, she's just this blank vessel. And y'all think because she's white and cute and she's got this snatched body and she's been in the gym allegedly doing Ozempic, that mediocrity is going to get you far. Not in this day and age. These new generation children will remind your ass, oh no, sis, we could see through it. And that's what's happening. Now, maybe you can give the basics overseas because they don't get us, they don't see a lot of the stuff that we see because in America, we are spoiled when it comes to the music, the entertainment, the way things run. Whereas in Europe, maybe y'all don't get the stuff that we get. So I will say that as Americans, we do take a lot of the artists and all the things that goes on in the business for granted. But if you want to go to Rock and Rio and the Brazilians who don't get out much will sit and accept mediocrity, then you go ahead and do it. So I say all this to say because I know this was a lot. It was a lot to break down with Miss Perry. What do y'all think of this story? Did you listen to the new album? Did you enjoy it? Do you think it's trash? Do you think she needs to hang it up? And also, as far as like the future and her tour and everything, does she need to do a residency? Because I can't see people spending a whole lot of money to go see her on an arena tour. And y'all know these arena tour tickets is crazy with the prices. So whatever your thoughts on this whole situation, let me know what you guys think of their story in the comments down below.